Hi everyone. Let us look at flash fill on Excel versus column from examples, which is available on both Excel and Power BI. So we are working with a data set that has these names in it. And for these 8 names, we would like to make some modifications. For example, if we just wanted the first name, we can write Justin and then press Control E for elephant, and it gives me all the first names. The option is in data and next to text to columns called flash fill. If I only wanted the last name, we can write Ritter, Control E, and that works as well. Now let us say you wanted the first name, a space, and the first initial of the last name. You can see that works as well. If you just wanted the initial JR, Control E, that also works. If you wanted to create something brand new, so let's say justin.ritter@gmail.com, that also works. Now this is wonderful. I'm just going to give you a few examples here. So we write Justin, and that works. We write Ritter, and that works. And we write JR, and that works as well. And then we write Justin R, and that also works. And then one final time, I'm going to do R.Justin, and that also works. Now this is great. This is flash fill. It has been around in Excel for about a decade now, and it works beautifully. There is no limit on the number of rows. You do need to have an adjacent column. It can combine multiple columns and extract values. But the problem is that it is a black box. It does not really tell you how it is doing it because I cannot see any formula in the cell. What that means is that it is not dynamic. Tomorrow, if I add another name or if I edit any one of the existing names, you notice that the results do not change. So this is great for a one-time result, but not really helpful when you're trying to create a model. So let me show you how to do this on Power Query using column from examples. First, I will go to data and then from table/range. Since the data set is not a table, we will convert it into a table. Yes, my table has headers. Click on OK. And it opens up Power Query. Here, I can press Control E for the shortcut, or I can go to Add Column and then select Column from Examples. Also note that here there is a choice to select all the columns as a sample or to only select the selected column. In flash fill on Excel, it is going to go to every single column that it can find both left and right. It doesn't ask you what to use, what to skip. Here you do have that choice. Of course, in our example, we only have one column, so we will work with that. So I select column from examples and from selection. It opens up a sample window, which is a preview window. And this is great because as I give a sample, let us say Justin, you can see that it gives me a preview of the result. So I can actually change the result if I'm not happy with the result, maybe give more samples. And it also builds the formula for me real time. So it says text.before delimiter. So unlike flash fill, which is a little bit like magic, it gets the job done, but doesn't tell you how it did it. This is very helpful because this is reusable. And you're also learning how Power Query does it at the back end. So if I give it, let us say Justin Ritter, now you notice that you get the same result, right? But what if I give something interesting? What if I say Ritter space Justin, or maybe Ritter comma space Justin? It doesn't work. So let's give one more sample. I will say Ritter comma space Craig, and you can see that it does not work 100%. Something is not working properly. So let's give one more, Mitchell, and then Jim. Perfect. So everything is working perfectly. The formula has been created as well. And when we click on OK, you can actually see the formula here. Let me click on the gear icon to show you the formula that it has created. I have a separate video where I explain how similar Excel can be with the use of dynamic arrays and how we do this in Power Query. But just to give you a broad overview, we are using a function called splitter.split text by delimiter, which is an inbuilt function. I'm using the space as the delimiter here between the first and the last name. And then I'm breaking it into two parts, 1 and 0. 0 being the first part, which is the first name, 1 being the second part, which is the last name. And then I'm using a text.combine, which is similar to a concatenate or a text join that you have on Excel to combine this. Now, this is great because if you wanted to make any change, for example, maybe I did not want a comma, but I wanted an underscore, I can make that change directly here in the formula and the result also gets updated. This obviously is not possible in flash fill on Excel because there you don't have a choice. Once you get the result, it's only a one-time result, right? You will have to reapply flash fill over and over again. Clearly, what you have on Power Query is much more powerful and much more flexible than what you have on flash fill.